Hi, I'm Derek with Blue Heron Consulting, and today I am joined by Louisa Bodul from Partner Development. And we wanted to take a deep dive into Trupanion Express. We want to get two things out of this. Number one, we want to hear how Louisa talks to hospitals when she's doing an online webinar training, how she kind of runs through Trupanion Express. And then number two, we want to give you guys a better understanding of Trupanion Express. She's going to go through and talk about each tab of Trupanion Express, and then I'm going to have some questions along the way that I hear out in the field and that Louisa has heard when she's doing some of her presentations. So we want to give you guys a much better understanding of Trupanion Express. And remember, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your field consultants, or you can reach out to Partner Development directly to have some of those questions answered. But right now I want to bring Louisa in, and Louisa, go ahead and take it away.
Great. Thank you so much, Derek. I will get my screen up here for you guys, and I will just jump right in. So right now we're looking at Trupanion Express. It is just running out of a web browser. So I've got Google Chrome open, and I have my Trupanion Express up and running. The very first thing you'll notice is that it is going to use the Appointments tab as the home screen. So what a hospital is seeing is they're seeing all of their appointments for that day, copy and paste it over into Trupanion Express, and then Trupanion Express filters through Trupanion information on each of those pets. So it will show you what pet has Trupanion by a blue tile that says Start Claim, and what pets could have an exam day offer by having a red Send Offer button. And it also shows you pets that are not eligible for exam day offers because they've already used the 30-day trial. And they also do not have Trupanion insurance in place. They would just regularly enroll like a pet and be subject to waiting periods. So it's a really quick way for a hospital to open, look, and see, I've got some Trupanion clients coming in today, and here's where I can send some offers. Really simple.
Louisa, I wanted to ask you, so if I'm a client, I'm coming in, I've never been to this hospital before, or I'm going into a hospital that doesn't put appointments in their calendar, they do it on paper, how would they find me if they wanted to pay a claim?
Yeah, absolutely. So to speak to the part where a hospital doesn't use appointments on their practice management system, this is what their home screen of Trupanion Express would look like. So if you ever see this and it says no appointments at this time, it's typically because they don't use it as their scheduler, and that's okay. For any pet that comes in that either has Trupanion or they would like to offer an exam day offer, they can use these left-hand side buttons that say Start New Claim or Send Offer. These generic buttons pull up a search bar, and they can search for that pet by their name or their owner's name. The one requirement is that pet needs to be live in their practice management system before they search for them in Trupanion Express. So for any pet that's not appearing on the Appointments tab, use the tabs on the left-hand side after making sure they're live in the Express, and you'll be able to find them automatically, and there's no lag.
You said there's no lag. How quickly does it sync?
Yeah, it'll sync automatically. So as soon as you click sync, it's sunk.
Great.
Perfect. I'll just go down the left-hand side, and we'll look at all the different tabs and what they can do. Following Appointments tab is the Pets tab. This is a list of all the hospital's pets that have Trupanion, that have written them as their treating hospital when they signed up for Trupanion. It's in alphabetical order, and you'll notice that you're able to start a claim on a pet here, and you might see some of the pets say Link Pet. Sometimes, especially when a hospital first downloads Trupanion Express, you might see Link Pet for a lot of pets, and that is because when a pet signs up with Trupanion, we collect their information. Also, when a pet goes to this hospital, they put their information on file as well. That's typically contact information. And something's not quite right. Something doesn't match. The owner might have put down their spouse on the policy, and that's not in the practice management system of the hospital. So that account information is just not identical. Because Trupanion Express is doing claims for these pets, it wants to make 100% sure that it's copying and pasting the correct invoice. So it never assumes that it has the right pet unless every single piece of contact information matches. Linking a pet is very easy and it's not permanent. You can always unlink and relink pets. So don't be afraid to link pets. It's very simple. And you can always advise the hospital that they don't need to go through their entire pets tab and link every single pet before their Trupanion Express is ready to use. Linking a pet is just as fast as finding a pet on the generic tabs on the left-hand side. It's immediate, and so once you've linked the pet together and confirmed their contact information, you can start a claim right away. I always suggest that hospitals wait to link pets until they need to do a claim, because it could be a long time before that pet might need a claim if they're a lucky pet.
I think that's a great point, Louisa, about the linking pet. And remember, I've been in certain training situations where I felt like the TP or TPA was a little frustrated that we couldn't link the pet. And a lot of times you have to remember that it's not necessarily our fault. It's not the client's fault. It's not the pet owner's fault. It could be just a coincidence. It could be a client maybe instead of putting ARC Animal Hospital, they put ARC Veterinary Clinic. We've seen that before where it didn't match up with the hospital, or that maybe the client moved to a new area and they listed that veterinarian as their main hospital, yet they had never been in there before. So maybe in that case they weren't listed in the vet's PIMS yet. So just remember, don't get frustrated. It's something that we're going to do everything we can to find them, but it's not anybody's fault. It's just the process which we like Louisa said, we make sure that we're 100% sure that we're linking the right pet. And also a reminder that it doesn't change anything in their PIMS. So anything, if we link it, you're not adjusting or adding or changing anything in their PIMS at all. It's just so we know that those two are the same pet. That's the whole point of the link pet.
Yeah, exactly. And just like when you're starting a claim or sending an offer from this left-hand side buttons, the first step is always to make sure that that pet is live in their practice management system. Now we'll just briefly look at exam day offers. The exam day offer tab in Trupanion Express is going to list any of the exam day offers that are sent. And typically you send exam day offers just from the appointments tab. It's really simple for hospitals to send these offers. All they have to do is click the send offer button under a pet that they would like to send. This will load the contact information of that pet. This information is copying and pasting over from their practice management system. We do not have any of this information as a company. It's just simply performing that copy and paste function so that the hospital doesn't have to fill out the information. What the hospital staff member will do is select the attending doctor and type in their name. Once they've typed in their name, they can click send offer and they've sent the offer. This will send the client an email exam day offer to the email that's on file. And if the hospital has opted into texting, we'll send them a text message to this phone number. That will allow the clients to activate that exam day offer. If they do not respond to the digital exam day offer within that 24-hour window, they will get a reminder. But after that 24-hour window is up, they will not get any future correspondence from Trupanion. I get a lot of questions. Do you put them on a marketing list just because we sent this to them? And no, we do not. They get the exam day offer, they get the reminder, they might get the text message, but after the correspondence of 24 hours is up, we do not contact them if they have not contacted us.
Great. So that phone number at the top, is that something that the TP or the clinic should verify that that's a cell phone number or a home number?
Yeah, they should verify that it is a cell phone number, of course, as long as they're opted into texting. And that is something that you as the TP can inform the clinic or make sure you talk with different staff members. If they are opted into texting, hey, go ahead and verify that that is a cell number. Because, for instance, I know I would prefer the text message, but every hospital is unique in their own client base, so they will be making those decisions. But yes, verify that that is a cell phone number.
Great.
Perfect. And a really exciting thing for the hospital is once they have sent that offer it will go into the exam day offer tab, and it will show them if they activate or expire. So they get to see, oh, we have another insured client, just like that, where before, you were sending off the pieces of paper kind of into the abyss, and you didn't know until they ran back into your hospital and they had a pet and they said, oh, I have Trupanion, don't you know? This way, it's really easy. They can see, and they can get kind of excited about, wow, in a matter of a week, we got 5 more insured clients just from doing this. So really nice for them to be able to have that information. The other side of Trupanion Express, of course, is claims. So we know that the claim side is very simple, and we'll just look at exactly what that looks like. Right now, we're on the claims tab. This is all the filed away claims that have been submitted by the hospital or by the client. Something that I always love to tell hospitals is that the claims tab will have claims on there from claims submitted not on Trupanion Express, giving them another step of insight into what's going on with their clients and the insurance. Being able to see, is the claim still in review or is the decision ready, can save a hospital a phone call to us, possibly waiting on hold and saying, oh, it's still in review. So when you're looking at claims and wanting to do a claim with your hospital, all you'll want to do is, the easiest way is to run from your appointments tab and select start claim under the pet. However, remember, you can use this start claim button on the left-hand side, search for the pet, and again, you'll just click the start claim button. When you click start claim, it's going to load all of the information and the questions and pre-select most of them for you, taking away a lot of the work that they had to do before in filling out the form and copying the invoice. When you first open a claim for a pet, what you'll notice as you scroll down through it is that the most recent invoice copy and pastes over to that claim. It's possible that you're doing a claim not associated to that invoice, so it is possible to change what invoice you're looking at and submitting with that claim, and we'll go through that step by step. Something great to know is the very first thing you see under the pet details is that their contact information and their policy number is included, so no chasing that around and no trying to track it down on the owner's behalf. You'll then notice that you have 3 gray boxes that are pre-selected to already have outcomes. You've got finalized invoice, which means that the pet is submitting a claim. And of course, next to that, you have pre-approval, which is where you would go in order to submit a pre-approval. That's the one thing that's always really great to make sure that they understand, because there's not a button on here from the appointments tab that says pre-approval. They have to click the start claim button in order to do a pre-approval. That's always great to remind the hospital if they're looking for a pre-approval button. They won't find it until they click start claim. They'll then be presented with these options. Was this incident due to an accident, and have they filed a claim before? These are very helpful to speed up the claim. These route the claims in the correct manner to the right people, but these do not change the outcome of the claim if the hospital selects them incorrectly. They simply speed up the claim. The only thing the hospital is responsible for when doing a claim is this reason for treatment box. This reason for treatment is typically why the pet is being seen that day. So this can be layman's term, they're limping, or this can be full, diagnostic notes from the doctor's soap. However you guys wish. Everybody, of course, on the side of Trupanion is medically trained to know what they've written. They'll then select the date of first sign. That date can be the day that the pet is being seen, if this is a new incident, or as accurate as they can get. So talking to the owner or looking back into records and knowing, when did this issue arise? For example, maybe a chronic issue has been going on for a while. Knowing that date of first sign can really help the claim and really help the claims adjuster know exactly where to look in the medical records.
Keep in mind, if they've had allergies for 4 years or 5 years, and there's a line of people waiting to check out, we don't necessarily expect them to go back and digging through the notes for 4 years to get an exact date. If they can give us their best guess, It just, like Louisa said, it gives us an idea of where to look in the medical notes to be able to process that claim quicker. So don't make that a deal breaker where they're not going to use it because they don't want to have to go back in the nose. Just give us their best guess. And the more accurate they can be, the better. The faster that claim will process. But just know that if they don't need to necessarily go back 40 years and look through it.
Yeah, exactly. Something to know about the invoice. Again, this is what's copying and pasting from their practice management system as well, exactly as it's written, line item for line item. There's nothing the hospital needs to do. Although they do need to verify it's the correct invoice. So they'll want to just make sure to glance and look that, yes, this is the right invoice. And if it's not, to use the invoice dropdown and select the appropriate invoice. They can look in their practice management system to the associated date or invoice number. And something that you'll also commonly get asked is, do I have to have a posted invoice when I go to do a pre-approval? Something really common and very nice is to be able to say, no, you do not. By simply clicking that magical pre-approval button, they will gain access to any estimates that they have as well as posted invoices. Those estimates, as you noticed when the wheel spun, that was it accessing the estimates. And that's when they can then select the estimate that they wish to submit. When you're doing a pre-approval as well, you'll notice that something's missing here at the bottom that is there when you're doing a claim. So we'll go back to the claim. Same process, typing in the reason for treatment, verifying the invoice or estimate. But when it's a claim, this payment and authorization box is here. And they need to select pay to hospital or pay to client, which of course is going to mean we're doing the vet direct pay version of reimbursing the hospital, or we're going to reimburse the client in that traditional model. They can simply denote that by clicking these boxes. But when you're doing a pre-approval, this payment and authorization box will just wipe clear because there's no money exchanging hands. So if they're ever worried or ever ask you about that, it's because they're doing a pre-approval. But the steps are the same. And just like an exam day offer, they will go ahead and put their name in the submitter's name and click Submit Claim. Once they submit the claim, they'll be able to watch the claim on their Appointments tab and on their Claims tab. Within a 5-minute or less time window, there's going to be a notification that comes across on this Appointments tab. The tile of the pet is also going to change to claim decision available. So where it said start claim, it will then change. And also in the claims tab, they'll be able to see the decision as well. So it's really hard to miss when we have adjusted a claim and put it back on Trupanion Express. Once that notification is back, they can open the decision letters, see exactly what we paid, how much, what we didn't pay, and why. It's broken down with our policy exclusions included. So straight from our policy, why we didn't cover the exam fee. That information is what we'll file onto that claims tab and allow that hospital the ability to review and come back to it at a later time. So they can always go back to the claims tab and look at that decision letter or that claim if they have any questions. And same with pre-approvals. Those will show up there. That decision letter will come back very similar. We'll talk about whether that condition was approved or denied. A big question that I always get, of course, is how do you actually do the checkout process and what do we do once Trupanion has paid us? Where is that money? That's where we have developed the Reports tab for Trupanion Express for hospitals. On this reporting tab, the hospital has the ability to see a list and run a report on a couple different things. The two most common reports that hospitals will want to run are the finalized claims paid report or the EFT payment report. They are pretty similar and some of the information does overlap, but the main difference is when selecting the report and the date of the report. So do they want a week? Do they want one 24-hour period? When they select My Finalized Claims Paid, what they get to see is every single claim that they submitted for that time frame that was paid. This includes any payment that's being paid to the owner and not to the hospital, but it is denoted on the report whether or not that payment is going to the hospital or to the client. The My EFT payment will show the hospital exactly and only how much electronic funds transfer money will be in their account within that 24 to 48-hour window. So when a claim has been processed and we have paid a hospital, that money will be in their account within about 24 to 48 hours. I always explain it, it's just like a debit card. When they get a debit card transfer, the banks have to communicate first before it becomes liquid cash for the hospital to use. So the EFT claim report will show exactly how much money specifically is going to the hospital in EFT payment. The finalized claims paid will be every single claim that has been approved and paid and that amount. We like to use the claims paid one, maybe when they're running an end of day report, to make sure exactly how much is coming and when, and make sure all of their books balance at the end of the day. The EFT payments is really great for tracking exactly which claim associates to which amount that should be in their account. Last but not least, my favorite part of Trupanion Express is that after all of your hard work training the hospital and getting them to use Trupanion Express, there is also a training tab on Trupanion Express for them to refer back to and be able to see different guides, videos, and tutorials on how to do the things that we just went over. Claims, exam day offers, reports, paw prints, what they look like. There's a lot of support on Trupanion Express. You'll notice they've got the 800 number on the left-hand side here. That's our hospital support team. And they also have a new function in the chat feature on Trupanion Express. This is very recently added to where they can select the chat feature and chat their question to one of our support team members as well. It might be faster, or just allow them to type a question, help a client, and get a question answered at the same time. So it's a super exciting feature that we're really glad has been rolled out. But that will basically get you into your hospitals and able to talk about all the things that Trupanion Express can do.
Louisa, can you click on that chat button real quick just to let everybody see what that looks like?
Yeah. So it looks like it pops up here in this box. They need to type in their name and choose if they're having, if they have questions or issues, or they're trying to talk even about an appeal.
Perfect. Just another way for them to communicate with us that could be a little bit quicker than jumping on the phone. So, Louisa, this has been super helpful. Thank you so much for your time explaining everything. And remember, guys, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to your field consultants or to partner development. We're all happy to help you, especially during this time, to get some of this stuff figured out. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. But thank you again for your time, and we'll see you later. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.